If you're looking for ways to really focus on your church work, your charity work, or your ministry, then this is the place to be. If you want to be notified whenever there's a new video, just hit the subscribe button below. Hi, my name is Jacinta Buckle, and I'm the founder of JWB Virtual Ministry Assistants, where our mission is for you to focus on your calling and let us handle the rest. This year we celebrate our 5th year in business, and so you'll be hearing a lot about social media from us. We really want to shift our focus to social media because we believe that it can be used as a real opportunity to grow the church. Over several years, and having worked with a number of churches and ministries, it quickly became evident that what churches and ministries needed more than anything was support with their social media. Churches and ministries have realised that social media is where everybody is at, and that it's another great avenue to unite people to God. So today I'll again be talking to you about how churches should be using social media. But before we get into the nuts and bolts of how your church should use social media, it's important for your church to firstly create a set of guidelines or social media policy to follow when creating social media posts. These guidelines will then provide a set of practices, processes, and set behaviour for you to follow as the church leader or the social media manager. And will also give you a real focus on where to go with your social media and how to go about it. Once you have your guidelines set, then you can think about how to get started with these posts. Do you as a church use social media to promote your upcoming events and services? If so, then perhaps you need to start thinking of social media more of a social medium rather than a promotional one. As a church, your main focus is to connect with people, and what is the best way to do this as a church? Well, it's by being the ministry that you are and to use social media itself as a ministry rather than a promotional tool. So how about using social media as a tool to pray for people or to show parts of your sermon or to give them a taste of church life? This leads churches to try to emulate how Jesus shared his ministry. So many Christians will know that when Jesus taught the crowds that came to see him, he didn't just give them a set of instructions and then said, go and do it. He used stories and parables so that the people would have a greater understanding of what he was teaching. The Oxford Dictionary describes a parable as a simple story used to illustrate a moral or spiritual lesson as told by Jesus in the Gospels. These stories would also represent the culture and behaviour of those in that time. So it's important to find out and be in tune with what's happening in the present day and try to link that with the faith and the Word of God. Think about common problems that people are facing today. Relationship problems, financial problems, alcohol and drug abuse, and try to find a way of linking them to the Bible. As well as keeping your content relevant to your audience, it's also crucial to keep your focus on your church mission. The quality of your post needs to be high. Put thought, care, love and effort into your post and really pay attention to what you're posting. It's not worth it if you're just going to look for any old image and a few words to match it and hope that people respond to this, because they won't. It's vital to connect with people in a personal way. Following on from your posts, you may very well get people who may want to connect with you behind the scenes and send you private messages or may want to chat with you. So again, this is why it's so important to have someone who oversees your social media, who is also available to engage with your followers, even if it means they then have to forward a message to a pastor, for example, for prayer. There's no point creating a post, putting it out there, and when you get a response from a follower or are unable to acknowledge that person. I believe that as a church, this is probably one of the most significant things that you will do when it comes to social media. The best way to capture any person's attention is by firstly using images of other people, because we as humans connect better with other humans. Now, I believe that it would be valuable for you as a church to get real life photos of your church community, really showing the way that you do church. This is vital for people in order to help them connect and to know that your church is indeed the type of church that they would want to attend. So yes, this does mean that you should try to get a designated person to take photos at your church, but this doesn't need to be a professional photographer that you need to pay lots of money for. I'm sure you should be able to find a few volunteers in your church who are passionate about photography or at the very least enjoy taking photos and who do it well. Of course, if you do have the budget to pay them, by all means do. All you really need to do is give them a smartphone to capture images on Sundays and when you hold events. I'm sure you can find at least 2 or 3 people in your congregation who would be happy to and be regularly available to do this. But I would recommend giving this role to more than one person so that they can take it in turns and the responsibility is then not left to only one person. It's incredibly important to stay consistent with your social media. Churches must not underestimate the significance of regular and consistent posting on social media. You'll often hear us say this, but it is crucial to get a designated person whose job it is to manage the social media for your church. You'll need someone who is dedicated to this role and someone who actually enjoys doing it. Again, it goes back to being able to connect with people and building relationships with them. You cannot build a relationship with someone when one day you're in contact with them and then they don't hear from you again for months. So as a church, find a regular and consistent pace that you can keep up with and then find the right person to do it. Algorithms are complicated, so I'll just give you the general gist of it. So basically, you need to have the types of posts which drive massive engagement and which have fun incorporated in them. This signals to the algorithms that people like your content, which therefore means that the algorithm will show your posts to more people. Social media is not easy, and this is because it can be quite difficult to know which post will do well. So the best thing to do is that when you do realize that a post has been popular, then continue to post images and content in that similar way. One way of knowing how well a post is doing is to count up all your engagement. Do this for 3 months and this should give you a good idea of how well your posts are doing. For Instagram, go to Insights. You can search by date and rank it by metric. Well, with all the above information in hand, the next step is to create a social media strategy. But not to worry, we will be creating a video on how to do this, so do look out for this very soon. I hope that this video has helped you. If you'd like any further information-based videos, do let us know. And if you have any questions at all, we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, have a blessed day. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.